have 4 things that I want to highlight, right? I call it the 4 big mistakes that Forex traders make, right? You guys know I've been trading for the past 12 years now, and I've literally hit that retirement mark in trading, even though I still have like a lot to share. So these days, most of the zeal and obligation that I have towards you mostly is like walking you through the right path, right? Teaching you guys how to not make some of the mistakes that I made earlier. I've achieved a lot for myself, you know, and always when I reflect, I'm always proud of myself, even though I'm still doing a lot of exploits. These cars are here, I don't even drive them. I mean, looking at an African guy coming from rags, right? I know where I came from, I know where I slept. Look, I know so many of you are in the same shoes. So many of my followers, I'd say like 80%, a good 80% plus, are not well-to-do, living in abject poverty or median range family, right? Always looking up to me because I tell you that, guys, that I came from the same background. And since I have done it, right, it sounds like a cliche, but I know that you can also do it. But you cannot do it if I don't point out some of the pitfalls that I faced so that you learn from it. Some of us, we laid our life down as sacrifices so that you don't also make some of these mistakes we made, and then thereon shortening your learning curve, right? So number one of that big mistakes that I see a lot of traders do or don't realize that they're even doing is not considering trading as a career path. For most people, they think that trading is like a get-rich-quick scheme. As funny as it may sound, and as many as you've heard it, indeed, we still have people that on a regular still think of trading as a get-rich-quick scheme. You get people comparing trading with sport betting, trading with so many gambling activities, comparing trading with like the casino and all of those things. If you could compare trading to any of those things, I don't think that would have people in the hedge funds, would have investment bankers, would have central banks speculating on the financial market like we do. Because the last time I checked, I never saw any corporate guy wear suit and tie and go and sit in a casino that this is their career. I never saw anybody set up a whole floor full of individuals employed to be sport betting or sport bettors or whatever coined name that people call them. But we have people that wake up, wear their suit and ties, well knowledgeable people that go and sit in offices to speculate on the financial market. And they're doing this for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of their life. And they've been doing it ever since. It goes on to tell you that trading by itself is a career, and if you're not thinking about it from this line of thought, then you have a problem, because you're not going to put yourself in alignment of seeing it in that way and positioning yourself to be in it for the longest of term. So one mistake that I see people do, I've already pointed it out, and how I solve that is by rethinking all the time that I spent working in a corporate organization. Because if you know me, you know that I worked with the National Petroleum Authority. I did a good 2 years with them, so I understood the corporate structure. And the very thing that I asked myself was that while I worked in the National Petroleum Authority, there were certain routines that we went through as employees. We had supervisors, we had managers, we had HR, we had accountants, we had literally all branches of the relevant occupation you'd find. But coming into trading as an entrepreneur, I have to be my own accountant, I have to be my own risk manager, I have to be my own HR, marketing, everything, branding. And one thing that's going to elevate you to go through this process is very fast is when you start reading a lot. And sometimes people think when I talk about reading, they're just limiting it to, Kojo, what trading book should I read and what that? No, you have to read books about management, read books about finance, read books about branding, read books about marketing, read books about philosophy, everything, psychology, because you're that one person that is going to control all of those things, because you're making trading as a career for yourself, right? So one mistake that I want you to correct is if you've not really thought of your life being a trader in this line of thought, then you want to correct that now by thinking about trading like it's something that you want to do for the next 20 years of your life, for the next 30 good years of your life. I'm literally crossing, you know, the average working years for any man before they go on retirement is 30 years. So if I've been trading for 12 years, which is like some 3 years short of 15 years, then I'm already crossing half of the years that one needs to work, you know, in their lifetime. So in the next 15 years thereon, I don't know what I'd be doing. Because the beautiful thing with trading is that you wouldn't need to even fulfill that 30 years to be accomplished. You know, the average man has 30 years to work before they go on retirement. But if you do your due diligence and then you put in the necessary work to work properly as a trader, I can guarantee you that you could just work for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and you would not need to work for the rest of your life again. So enough of that. The second point is, so many traders think that everything needs to be public knowledge. I've seen so many traders even go through the racks of being able to identify or find that key strategy that works with them, and next thing they go on social media, write a whole blog post and say, guys, I found this and this and that and it works this way, and then pour it all out. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying be selfish with your works or be selfish with your knowledge, but I tell you the honest truth. With me, when I discovered my strategy with my sniper entry strategy and the good strategy, which is what I've shared with so many of you, I made sure to do very well for myself. I made sure to maximize and capitalize on the potential that thing had to fulfill the personal goals that I had, which is like getting my family out of poverty, elevating my own self, having a stable financial grounds, and then physical place to lay my head. Before my heartfelt kindness thought of it to start teaching people the same thing. And even as such, it's only the exclusive people that get the full knowledge of it. All I'm just trying to drive at is that trading success thrives on secrecy. If you don't know this, take it from me. So if you are following a concept that is all out there and you say, oh, me, never pay for me. I'm not saying go and pay for mentorship, don't get me wrong. If you pay, of course, you believe in whoever you're learning from. But I have a class of traders that say, I want to do this and I don't need this and I'm going to learn from YouTube. All the information is on YouTube. I can promise you that the YouTube can be a strong foundation for you to understand the rudiments and the concept, but there will definitely be more to it to elevate you. So don't think that trading success comes from public knowledge. It's an environment of competition, and competition thrives on secrecy. So get that also in your mind. And that's one other mistake that I've seen a lot of traders do, just taking things on plain sight, not really understanding that there must be something more to it, something really more to it for you to get there. The third one, which may seem very basic, but I have a lot of traders doing that all the time, is thinking they can trade their money to $1 million to a gazillion or whatever it is. I've seen traders really raise their initial capital to a tremendous amount. Impressive. They have $1,000, they literally will trade it to 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, and you want to ask them, where are you taking it? I'm taking it to 100,000. I'm taking it to $1 million. I'm taking it to this. The trail I'm trying to point you out is that I've seen so many traders make impressive gains without pulling the trigger. Pulling the trigger is making a withdrawal. And what does it end? Them losing it all. The third mistake you want to definitely avoid is, do not try to overly compound your trading account. There must be that moment where you pull the trigger. And pulling the trigger is withdrawing your profits and doing well for yourself by spending it on things that matter to you. The worst thing you want to ever let happen to you is trading a small account or a reasonable account, compounding it to 10x, 100x, 1000x, and losing it all. I can promise you that if you do that mistake, you could be crippled for the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years without being able to do anything else in trading, because you're going to have that PTSD that is always going to haunt you, that you may also lose that account or that money again. So you don't want to ever do that mistake. Always make sure to withdraw. And the last mistake, which may obviously seem very evident, but you get people making these mistakes over and over and over, is thinking that every day is a trading day. So many people think that they could have trading setups every day of the week. The reality is it doesn't happen that way. Even if you're a scalper, day trader, there are obviously days that the market is just not going to sync with your trading knowledge or your trading strategy. A philosophical aspect of the market that I can share with you is that everybody gets their turn. What I mean by everybody getting their turn is that your trading strategy is going to have moments where the setup is going to be evidently in sync or in line with that strategy. So if today is Monday and it's syncing with my support or resistance, trend line, or you get what I mean, tomorrow Tuesday it could be syncing with your moving average. The next day, Wednesday, it could be syncing with your chart pattern. The next day, Thursday, it could be syncing with somebody who's like fully engrossed in SMC, ICT, whatever it is. The next day, Friday, it could be in sync with somebody who is doing VWAP, whatever. So once you tend to understand this philosophical aspect of the market, you tend to always make sure you time yourself in a moment where you fulfill the opportunity that comes in sync with your timing in the market, and leave the rest for perhaps the other traders until the market works its way back up to give you the opportunity you deserve. The moment you begin to understand this, you're not always going to expect a trading setup every day, and then you're going to always wait for the best setups that you deserve. So henceforth, I don't want you to always think that there's going to be opportunity for you in the market. You just want to scan through and find the one that best works and fits your trading logic, and then take that trade. So this brings us to the end of the 4 mistakes that I see traders make. I hope you guys learned a lot